Dr. Stephen Zemanek here. I'm asked a lot what in the world God is doing. I'm also asked what's wrong with God. Another question I get is God real? Does he exist? And when we begin to delve into the issue, I find that what people are really dealing with is the idea that if God is real, if he's in control, and if he knows what he's doing, why in the world is our society, why are our families, why is our governmental setups, why is our global interaction such a disaster? And crime rates, racial tensions, just to mention two. They seem to give the impression that God is either uninterested or unable to do anything about it. Now, when I'm talking with people about this, for the most part, they're genuine, honest, good people. Occasionally, I'll run across a jerk who's just trying to take out his or her anger on God and blame him for everything that's going on in their life. But for most of us, it's a real question. If God is real, and if he is as powerful as the Bible says he is, why is our world in the state that it's in? Well, the answer to that is something you might not want to hear, but I'm going to give it to you. God created everything. The Bible says the heavens and the earth, Genesis 1. And he created all of us. But then he went and did something that's astounding. He gave the world to us, to you and to me. He gave it to us. It's ours to do with what we want. A great responsibility, great gift. But man, what a mess we've made of it. You see, it isn't the issue of could God have stopped this? The issue is not could God have done this so that that didn't happen? The issue isn't, well, why doesn't God just stop all the gun violence in Chicago, Illinois, for example? The real issue is that God gave the world to us. And because of that, we have the right to make whatever choices we want, but we also have the responsibility to deal with the outcomes. And so what we've seen take place is something that began, according to the Bible, in Genesis chapter 4, where the first brothers, Cain and Abel, found themselves in a situation where one was not happy with the way things were, so he took it out on his brother and murdered him. The same kind of thing plays out day to day, whether it's at Wall Street, in the streets of the suburbs, or the streets of the inner city, or those gravel streets out in the rural areas. We as human beings have taken this gift and we have turned it into something that we believe we own. We have the right to have what we want. We have the obligation to look out for number one, no matter what it does to everybody around us. As a result, we see things like child abuse, spousal abuse. We see things like racial inequities. We see things like the financial crooks that rarely, but occasionally, are arrested and paraded in front of the cameras for us all to see. The reason our world is in the state that is in is because we as human beings have taken the gift God has given us, this world, and we have used it, all of us, for self-centered interests. And as a result, we end up with, well, what we see today. The way to transform this isn't for God to come in and just wipe the slate clean, start over. The way for this to be fixed is for us to begin to take genuine responsibility for the gift God gave us. God gave us this world, the people around us. And we need to, each of us individually, choose to honor God and that gift by putting our neighbors first. The way Jesus said it is to love your neighbor as yourself. We need to begin to see the value of others and the needs of others as equal to that of our own. When we begin to live for the community rather than living for our own pocketbook, we find ourselves taking this gift, the world that God gave to us, and beginning to make it into something everybody wants to live in. Now, the problem we have with this is none of us are very good at that. I mean, we can do it occasionally. Almost everybody, has stopped and held the door open for somebody so they could go in first because we're wonderful human beings. But those are not typically the way we live. The reason they get noticed is because they're abnormal. No, the only way for us to truly love our neighbors the way we love ourselves is to give our self-will, to give our future and our plans over to God. The Bible tells that Jesus died to purchase us from sin, in essence, to purchase us from us, so that we can be owned by Him and empowered by Him to live out a lifestyle that helps make the world, the community, our families better instead of worse. He empowers us to do the very thing we keep saying He's not doing, changing the world for the better. So yes, God's in charge. Yes, God sets the rules. And yes, God gave us all an incredible gift when He gave us the right to do what we want. But He also gave us an incredible responsibility in the realization that we are accountable for the decisions we make. If you want to make this world a better place, start by surrendering your life to Jesus Christ. He will empower you to begin to make your family, your neighborhood, your community, and eventually the globe a better place than it is today. Problems occur because of our self-centeredness. The only cure is for our self-centeredness to be turned by God into community service. Whatever you're doing today, remember this: because of Jesus, life is good today. The Lord be with you.